Hey everybody, it's Dr. Ron. Just want to talk to you guys about Hashimoto's thyroid program that we're launching here at Texas Center for Lifestyle Medicine. So let me give you a few tidbits about what Hashimoto's really is and why people have low thyroid. And so people are having hormonal and thyroid problems. The prevalence of thyroid issues are just really steadily climbing over the years, and there's a lot of factors that people do not understand. So if you're diagnosed with thyroid problems, it just doesn't fall out of the sky and you're hit with all of a sudden thyroid problems. It's not just the genetics. There's a whole lot of other factors that we have to consider. And people commonly ask me, well, does food affect my thyroid function? 100% does, but not in the way that you might think. And so for the disease of Hashimoto's is that the thyroid can be either hyperactive or hypoactive. In most cases, it's hypoactive, meaning that it is less active than it usually is. And there are factors that really change over time. And people can suffer hair loss and fatigue and brain fog and skin problems, dry skin, dry eyes. People can experience a low heart rate, or sometimes they can experience a high heart rate. They experience so much fatigue that they can barely function, or they experience the afternoon sleepiness, or they can experience insomnia. So the range of thyroid issues and the thyroid symptoms are very broad, but the answer is to not just take a medicine and hopefully it gets better. In fact, a lot of people on thyroid medicines do not get better, or they get partially better, but we don't know, they don't know how much better it can be. So there are multiple factors that we look at. And in our program, this is very important, in our program, we not only looking at using food as medicine, but we also look at environmental toxins. We looked at behavioral patterns, stress and anxiety, and all these things can decrease activation of thyroid hormone. And so we looked at decreased activation of thyroid hormone as well as the autoimmune component of Hashimoto's, which is that our body makes antibodies, certain molecules that attack our own thyroid. And so why does that happen? Why would a body make things that attack our own cells? And the reason for that is far more complex than we originally thought it was. And let's take, for example, if we consume foods that are not natural, if we consume foods that are processed and that have been either genetically modified so much so that our body reacts to it, our body recognizes it as a foreign substance. And when our body recognizes these things as foreign substances, we make little defense molecules called antibodies. And these antibodies attach on to these foreign molecules, which then can precipitate an inflammatory effect. When that happens, the inflammation causes the gut bacteria to change, and if it happens over and over again, and we've seen more and more of these foreign particles of food that we ingest into our body, the more antibodies we can potentially make to it. So, there is an association with the gluten molecule as well as the entire wheat molecule and all the peptides in wheat that that allow our body to produce these antibodies, and these antibodies can become what's known as Hashimoto's antibodies, or thyroid peroxidase antibodies, TPO antibodies. And this is the concept of how food can really affect our body's immune system. Now, it's true that some people are more predisposed. They have genetic factors that allow them to make this more than other people. But at the same time, these are modifiable factors. And the concept of something called epigenetics means that you can actually change your gene expression with your lifestyle and the way that we eat. And so if you're one of those people who have been on thyroid hormone, you don't feel very good, and if you haven't changed your diet, there's a reason why you still do not feel very well. Some people on thyroid hormones, and the doctors test their labs and their blood work, and they'll see, oh, your thyroid hormone's fine, but if you just don't feel well, if you're still tired, if you're still losing hair, if you still have skin changes, you still have that brain fog, even though on paper the basic thyroid tests show that you may be normal, but there could be other things going on that we really want to look at in terms of people with thyroid problems. But Hashimoto's is a very interesting disease where the antibodies start attacking the thyroid initially, and people can, when this first happens, people can have a very brief period of hyperthyroidism when the thyroid is hyperactive, and then they start tiring out and decrease thyroid hormone production from the thyroid gland. So what does the thyroid gland actually do? The thyroid gland is like a gateway hormone. The thyroid hormone is a gateway hormone. It allows other hormones to work. So if your thyroid is low, your metabolism is down, your testosterone cannot work very well. It does not allow the normally functioning things in your body to function in a regular basis. And so in essence, the thyroid hormone controls everything. If you're low on thyroid, you can have high blood pressure. It can make you develop insulin resistance, leading to diabetes. It can let you develop sleep apnea and a whole lot of other different things. So a lot of times I see people with thyroid hormones and they have other co-risk factors, meaning all these other diseases, but really trying to find the root cause is what we're all about. And so if you're interested in getting your thyroid fully evaluated, if you don't feel well, if you're on thyroid medicine already and just don't feel well, feel that something is still wrong, then most likely something is still wrong. And I'm here to validate you that you have to listen to your body and come up with different conclusions. Like if you just don't feel right, if the last time that you felt was normal was a very long time ago, then there's something that is definitely wrong. We want to evaluate you. Some people think, hey, as I get older, I just naturally get more fatigued, and it may be people's thyroids as well. So just want to get that out to you guys. So if you click on the link that's in the description, txlifemed.org, you can actually register as a new patient, or if you're a returning patient, you can click on the established patient portal, and we'll get back to you. My team will get back to you, and we'll get a full thyroid evaluation going on for you. If you have any questions, comment below. In fact, comment on where you're watching from. If you're really interested to know where in the world, or where in the country, where in Texas, if you're in Texas, where you're watching from. And I'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot.